Understanding the ongoing humanitarian nightmare in Palestine is no simple task. The issue is neither new nor straightforward, and certainly it's not something one can fully comprehend from just viewing it from the outside. So allow these award-winning filmmakers to take you to the heart of it, to Gaza, and to show you just a glimpse of life as the Palestinians now know it. Hey y'all, my name is Sucharita. Welcome back to my channel where I bring to you reviews, interviews and coverage from film festivals. Having just returned from the Berlin International Film Festival in Germany, let's dive into some reviews now, starting with No Other Land, that won the Best Documentary Award and the Panorama Audience Award at Berlinale. Directed by a Palestinian-Israeli collective, No Other Land is as much about the events it portrays as it is about the people documenting them.
This is what's happening in my village now. Soldiers are everywhere.
Side note. As I prepared myself for the release of Dune 2, this week I rewatched part 1 on the flight en route to Berlin. A work of fiction that many have debated borrows heavily from real life, in particular the impact of Western imperialism in the Middle East. Dune. Author Frank Herbert's vision has been discussed and dissected ad nauseum. But as I watched No Other Land only a few days later, the fact that both Dune and this documentary start with a very similar voiceover stood out sharply. In the former, you hear Zendaya's voice talking about her once fertile planet, Arrakis, that was invaded by the Emperor who sent the outsiders, the Harkonnens, to loot it of its natural resources, and how she has grown up watching the atrocities unfold. In No Other Land, you hear its Palestinian director and journalist Basel Adra say the same about his village of Masafer in the West Bank. I draw the parallel above not to trivialize the occupation in Palestine by comparing it to science fiction, but only to try and wrap my own head around the film world's difference in reaction to these two movies about desert people. One is a massive Hollywood blockbuster we are queuing up to watch, myself included. The other wins awards at an international film festival only for their speeches addressing the content of the very movie be called one-sided, inviting death threats for the filmmakers. No Other Land is made by 4 people. There's Basel Adra, Hamadan Balal from Palestine, and Yuval Abraham, Rachel Zor from Israel. Together, they are credited with writing, directing, and editing the film, which spans from the summer of 2019 right up until the winter of 2023.
بداية تصويري هي بداية نهايتنا.
Text at the end mentions that filming wrapped up before October of last year. Basel Adra's voice succinctly but unhurriedly tells you about the time he first realized his parents were activists and the realization of the importance of resistance in their lives. The film is not a larger commentary on the crisis as a whole, but it chooses to focus only on how families and villages continue to be displaced in Masafer, a region in the West Bank. Basel is armed with a camera, social media, and a press card. He records videos and organizes community protests against people invading the lands. Through his eyes, you see not just the strife of the people of Masafer, but also their dismay towards the apathy shown by the rest of the world. In one scene, he talks with his Israeli co-director Yuval about the importance of mainstream media covering the ongoing expulsions. In another, he talks about the one time British Prime Minister Tony Blair visited and how the streets Tony Blair walked was spared from demolition at that time. This is a story about power, Basel says. And so, almost to stir some sympathy or even anger in the viewing audience, Basel's coverage that features in this film focuses heavily on how women and children continue to suffer in Masafer as things get worse each day. In a very chilling scene, Israeli bulldozers eventually do show up to demolish a school Tony Blair had visited. Inexplicably, children are locked up inside a room and they have to escape through windows before the building is destroyed. The team also shows you many children standing up to heavily armed guards, teenagers looking down the barrels of guns and asking questions, each shot more devastating than the last. Cars are forcefully confiscated from locals to prevent movement, as bulldozers, which have become a symbol of oppression not just in Palestine, roll in and out day and night.
في صوت بيطلع يعني مش ناس قاعدين يعني فيش بني آدمين.
There are many scenes of residents lugging their belongings out of homes that are about to be demolished, mattresses, cupboards, washing machines, denied the basic right to live and use these mundane, boring, daily objects. The film itself is not loud. It doesn't yell at you or make you feel bad for not paying enough attention. It's almost languid, even when it shows you the protests. Like Basel and his family, this film too is calm and calculated. The shaky, unstable camera work adds to the realism, asking the viewer what Adra asks himself. Somebody watches something, they are touched, and then
1,000 Palestinians face one of the single biggest expulsion decisions since the Israeli occupation of the Palestinian territories began.
There is absolutely no way to predict when and how this film will get a release, be available to watch, but keep an eye out for it. In the interim, you can go to Yuval Abraham's Twitter page and watch his and Basel's award acceptance speech that they gave at the Berlin Film Festival. Alright, up next from Berlinale, I will be talking about the 3 Indian feature films that premiered there. Ram Reddy's The Fable is up next, then Vinod Raj PS's Kottukali, and Jatla Siddharth's In the Belly of a Tiger. Subscribe to my channel. The more this channel grows, the more chances I will have to go and cover more films and more film festivals. The subscribe button is right under this video. Just click it once. My name is Sucharita. Thank you for stopping by.